Are you worried about your online privacy? Well, you should be. Nothing works as well as Virtual Shield VPN. Virtual Shield lets you browse the web completely anonymously. So the big-name internet service providers and their third parties will not be able to monitor and sell your internet activity and browsing history. When using our VPN service, your traffic is routed through our secure and encrypted servers. The good news is it's completely free for 30 days, and we can host Mac, Windows, iPhone, iPad, Android, or Chrome. Personal, family, and business plans are available. Just click on the live link in the description box below for more information. Good morning. I'm still reporting on the coup. The Biden administration got a bloody nose and two black eyes this week in foreign relations, and it wasn't from falling up the stairs to Air Force One. The bloody nose is completely understandable to anyone who has even dabbled into Joe Biden's history. Biden, even when he knew what he was saying, has never been able to keep his foot out of his mouth, and these days it's obvious to anyone paying attention that now he rarely knows what he's saying. But Biden calling Russian President Vladimir Putin a killer is hard to explain. What possible advantage is there in insulting Putin? It's not how the world of diplomacy works. However, there is one possible explanation. The cabal of whom President Trump spoke of on Monday that is currently running Biden is all about continuing ill will towards Russia because it detracts from the only real threat, China. That's why the Russia collusion hoax was perpetrated, and the gauntlet Biden threw down at Russia this week is just a clumsy continuation of that smoke and mirrors ploy. Pay attention to nasty old Putin and ignore the real threat. Will we ever learn? Putin wasn't about to be humiliated by an old man with mental competence problems. So Putin challenged Biden to a live televised debate and said he was ready any time. Biden, at the top of his game, couldn't have handled Putin in a debate. In fact, my money would be on Putin even if the entire debate was conducted in the English language. The mumbling, stumbling Biden wouldn't last one round with Putin. There is no way that debate could ever happen, which wouldn't matter except this pretend sword play is being performed on the world stage, and no one in this world thinks Biden isn't suffering cognitive problems. How does it look for the U.S. for the American president to run like a scared puppy with his tail between his legs when challenged to a debate by the president of a second-tier country? Russia is not the USSR. It has nowhere near the military or economic power of the U.S. Russia is less than half the size of the U.S. in population, and what is far more important is that the U.S. economy is 13 times larger than the Russian economy. In fact, the gross domestic product of Texas alone is 15% bigger than the gross domestic product of Russia. Compared to the U.S., Russia is an economic pipsqueak, and Putin knows this. Biden may have understood this at one time, but today it's tough to speculate about what Biden may or may not understand on any given day. Trump certainly understood it. One factor that Trump understood better than any president in modern times is that the U.S. rarely needs to use its military power because it has dominant economic power, enough to bring any nation on earth to its knees, and that includes China. And speaking of that, the two black eyes the U.S. also suffered this week came from China, where for some inexplicable reason, the equally inept U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, decided to begin a discussion with Chinese diplomats in Alaska by insulting them and being hypercritical of China's internal policies. The result was a tongue-lashing from the Chinese, including the statement that the United States does not have the qualification to say that it wants to speak to China from a position of strength. Blinken didn't have a comeback. He sat there like a deer in the headlights and, taking after his boss, made a largely incoherent statement. Even if you are in a position of power, it's not smart to begin a negotiation with insults and criticism. Plus, China knows it has an ace in the hole when it comes to dealing with the U.S., especially with Joe Biden as president. The Chinese probably have damaging information about Hunter Biden. They may have videos of Hunter Biden accepting millions of dollars in cash. Does anybody think Hunter would have turned it down? They may have videos of Hunter in compromising positions. They may even have his signature on documents denouncing the United States. Why not? It's the latest fad among Democrats. And Hunter Biden doesn't appear to be the type of guy who would read every word of every document. The question is not what Hunter Biden would do for over $1 billion. The question is, what would make it worthwhile for the Chinese to give Hunter Biden over $1 billion? How about a secret guarantee to do nothing to point out or deter China's rapidly expanding military strength? That would easily be worth $1.4 billion. That's about one-half the cost of just one, modern-day Virginia-class attack submarine. Joe Biden has to be extremely careful with the Chinese because even in his jumbled mind, he has to suspect the Chinese have the goods on his son, and if the Chinese release information, it won't be covered up like the mainstream media did with the info from Hunter Biden's laptop during the campaign. It would be a top story all over the world. And if the mainstream media in the U.S. doesn't cover it, the USMSM will become the laughing stock of the world if they are not already. The U.S. would become like some third world country where the media is so controlled by the government that in order to find out what's going on, people have to read the foreign press. In fact, we're almost there now. Of course, it's going to take more than a few mean words to get the Chinese to expose the Bidens, because having the President of the United States in their back pocket and essentially doing their geopolitical dirty work on the world stage is a lot more valuable than having him humiliated. They won't let old Joe die either. He's just too valuable to them. No doubt some brilliant left-wing pundit is going to have to find a way to make that Alaska meeting a success for the U.S., but it's going to have to be a really accomplished fiction writer. I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day. Every doctor on TV says that we all need to boost our immune systems. And STEM Enhance does that in a unique way by increasing blood levels of your own adult stem cells, the backbone of your immune system, by over 30% in just 1 hour. Click on the link in the description box below for details.